I learned a lot growing up without anyone ever really teaching me. I learned by watching for tonal changes, room changes, energy shifts. You watch for a lot of things that you have no control over, but you have to learn how to read in order to stay safe. For a long time, I thought that wasn't my intuition, but really it was adaptation. You're adapting to your environment in such a way that keeps you safe, keeps you hidden, keeps you quiet. You learn to how you're supposed to react in those situations. Later on in life, those types of survival skills, you're reacting like a child would react to a situation. They're not healthy, they're not productive, they are often destructive. You know, your behavioral, the way that you deal with things, the way that you react to them behaviorally can be very destructive to your relationships, to your career, to your self-worth. Very destructive. Healing is learning that you don't have to live that way anymore, and that you don't need to have those survival skills in order to make it through the day. To unlearn those survival skills, and as I've talked about before, relearning is also unlearning. You have to unlearn and make those pathways that are so ingrained, those neural pathways that are so ingrained into your brain, you have to turn them into a desert highway that never gets traveled on anymore. The more and more you try to consciously change your reactions to things into a more positive and productive way, just the fact that you recognize that you're doing it is part of the solution. You have to recognize what you're doing, and then you have to be able to figure out what to do in order to make a positive change. So instead of reacting by screaming and yelling with your partner, you react by having a calm conversation and working through your issues instead of getting angry and screaming and yelling and cussing and being defensive and all those things that you did in order to act like a young person, that keeping a child, just keeping everything away because you're acting on pure emotion, raw emotion, unprocessed, unthought, raw emotion. It's really unfortunate that we have to go through these things and that we have to figure this out as we age and as we get older. But we have to, because you can continue to do the same thing over and over again, and if you're expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity, as they say. So you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're getting the same results. And it's time to make those changes and to make those realizations. You have to look at yourself in a really naked way, to be blunt. You have to really strip yourself down and say, hey, look at this. This is not okay, the way that I react to this. How can I change that? How can I react in a more positive way? I hope this helps and resonates with somebody. I'm telling my story here on the internet because everything that I'm talking about is things that I'm learning and walking myself. And I hope it helps somebody feel a little less alone. Thanks for listening.